Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all. Oh my God. Let me tell y'all, it is crazy. I have been through the storm, you guys, the storm and the rain. But y'all gonna find out in a few minutes.
Good evening.
I've been going through.
Good evening. Good evening. Come into the J Spot. Replacing your G Spot every Thursday from 6 to 7, giving you real relationship talk, real relationship drama with the best night of your life. Your host, Jay and Simply E, hold on. Hold on. Get ready to enter the J Spot on intellectualradio.com.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. And welcome to the best night of your life. Woo! You have entered the J Spot where we are strengthening relationships and families one conversation at a time. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Please do me a favor, you all. Go to our page and like our page at the J Spot. Follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot. And J is spelled Jaye for all three. When you're done, go right on ahead, go right to YouTube, like and subscribe to our channel there. We have great content there where the J Spot Radio, and again, J is spelled Jaye. Now, if y'all notice, I ain't in the studio. Now, you all look, let me just be honest with y'all for a few minutes. We are under a storm watch, snow / rain and ice and all of this other ish. You all, I'm not about that life. I'm not going to even lie to y'all. I'm not about that life. So let me just put that out there. I'm not about driving in tornado watches, rainstorms, any of that. Listen, if they let me know in advance what they're expecting, I'm not going. I'm sorry. I'm just not going. I'm not for it because it's like every time it seems to me, every time I get out there, I always get the worst end of whatever the weather is. And I hate being out there. It's all dark, dark deers. I got to drive past the cemetery. Look, I ain't about all that. So tonight we are kicking it with me, my plant. Well, what's left of my plant. Y'all give me some tips. If y'all got a green thumb, please give me some tips because this plant has been holding on for dear life. Now it is a long vine, but I have to do better with it. So you all just, if you got a green thumb, a green hand, just let me know. Send me some tips on what to do to make my plant grow. But guys, listen, thank you again so much for tuning in. Listen, you all, let me tell y'all something. I got a ticket, right? So why y'all didn't tell me that they take pictures now of everything? So this is not in the big city of Chicago. Hey, E, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in, girl. But listen, I got the ticket, so I'm down there. I said, I got my little case together. I'm like, listen, this is a sure win. Like when they see my proof, they gonna throw this ticket out. Poof. Listen, I get my dummy in down there to that courtroom, you all, and why they had a picture of my violation. Now, listen, all it was a missing city sticker. But in my defense, I had already bought the sticker like last year. I just forgot to put it on because I just had so much stuff going on. So for 7 months, I've been riding around parking, whatever, without the city sticker. Long story short, I got my pictures and they had their pictures, and our pictures were not picturing. They was like, well, here it is. And I'm like, okay, well, here mine is. And they like, well, it wasn't on there at the time that they took the picture. I say, so how you know it wasn't on there? Because we got the picture. Again, I got the picture, make a long story short, my argument did not hold up, and yeah, I had to pay the ticket. So you guys, I thought that they was gonna at least be like, we gonna, throw it out or whatever, because I bought it back in May. So I bought it beforehand, but I guess they didn't care about any of that. They're just like, you know what, listen, run us our money. It ain't our fault that you sitting up here running around like a chicken with your head cut off. So run us our money and pay this ticket. So I had to pay the ticket, you guys, but just keep me lifted. But guys, listen, we have an amazing show lined up for you tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to take a short musical break. And when we come back, baby, listen, all these hot topics, I done been off. So I have so much to talk to you guys about, and I can't wait. So we will return. We're going to listen to Never Gonna Give Up. And she's a really good supporter of the J Spot. So we have Latasha Jordan. If you in there, girl, listen, keep doing your thing. And listen, we will be back shortly. You're listening to Latasha Jordan, Never Gonna Give Up.
Baby, well. I never had someone to call my own.
Do me a favor, guys. Share our page. Share, like, and share the J Spot. Little Talk to J. Y'all can like and share that one too. Follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also, follow us and like us on YouTube. That's the J Spot Radio.
I don't care what my friends may say. I want your loving for always. And now that I found you, boy, I always want to stay around you. I'm never gonna give you up, just as long as I know you're giving love to me, baby. Never gonna give you up, darling. Do you really need me? Never gonna give you up, baby. Do you need me? And
I don't know if it's live.
Sweet tender lips like
I don't think I'm connected. Hold on.
I never had in my arms a sweet tender man with so much charm.
And I'm trying something new tonight, you guys. I'm on StreamYard, so I'm trying to see if it's on the J Spot, but it doesn't look like it is.
No way, yeah. And now that I found you, boy, I always want to stay around you. I'm never gonna give you up, just as long as I know you're giving love to me, baby. Never gonna give you up, darling. Do you really need me? Never gonna give you up, baby. Do you need me? Oh, can we do it like this, boy? Oh, can we do it like that, boy? Oh, can we do it like this? You're all that I need, so come go with me, boy. Do you really need me? I'm never gonna give you up.
All right, I got it. Y'all, you know it's always something going on with me.
Know that I love you. I'm never gonna give you up. Just as long.
But welcome back, guys, to the J Spot. I gotta get my stuff. Listen, I'm got 12,000 things going on, wearing 12 different hats. I apologize for being late, you guys. You know, I got like a couple of other business ventures going on the side, so I had to make sure that my Airbnb guests checked in okay, because we got a lot going on. So again, we are expecting some snowing-ish. And so they had questions. So it's like when they got questions, baby, you got to be available to help your people out. But definitely, please do me a favor, you guys, go and check us out. If you are looking, listen, the J Spot Airbnb will have the link dropped in our comments. We're a 2-bedroom luxurious condo located right next. And when I say right next, you can just turn your head and you at the United Center. That's just how close we are. So definitely check us out, the J Spot Airbnb. That's where we're being brought to you by. We're also being brought to you by Delaware Inc. You guys, he has some more. His hoodies are on sale, so definitely contact him. He has his new spring line coming out, some amazing colors. Listen, I'm going to rip mine up and have it, so I'll definitely be supporting Delaware. Go to his page, Delaware Inc. We'll have the link in the comments as well. We're also being brought to you by BK the Barber. Listen, if you are in Springs, Texas, man, it's probably nice there around this time. Listen, if you need a line that needed to be faded up, listen, check out your boy BK the Barber. We'll have his link posted in the comments as well. Use reference code J, you guys, for all of our sponsors on tonight, and that's JAYE. Now, listen, you all, let's talk about this Michael B. Jordan. Listen, you all, I just thought that it was really, it was interesting to see him on the red carpet for the premiere, and to see the young lady that I guess called him corny allegedly back when they were in grammar school. Now, let me ask this. Who didn't get talked about in grammar school? Like, she must have really, really crushed his poor spirit. Poor Tink Tink. She must have really crushed his spirit. And she must have been the driving force for him to become successful, because he like, listen, I bet you when I see that son of a, every cuss word you could think of, I'm going to make sure I'm going to set her straight. I'm going to tell her about herself. So he took that as his moment to set her straight. And, he basically gave her a Chris Brown, look at me now. Look at me now. I'm getting paper. He gave her one of those type moments. But my thing is, it was grammar school, fam. Like, you held on to her calling you corny throughout your adult life. Like, you held on to her calling you this. Like, it hurt you that bad that she called you corny, that, listen, you could not get past that. Like, you said, listen, I'm going to have to go and I'm going to have to tell this chick a little bit about herself, and I'm going to choose to do this on the red carpet premiere of the movie that I am starring in. But wasn't that corny? Like, did that make you corny, bro, for confronting her about some ish that happened when you were in 7th grade? And my thing is, again, I just want to know, like, who did not get talked about in grammar school? Because I know, listen, that's where some of my best material came from, grammar school and high school. It's just like, it's like some folks are different. Like, and it caused me to think, like, man, does he have any siblings? Like, is he an only child? Maybe I need to do some research on that. Drop a comment and let me know if you guys know if Michael B. Jordan, is he the only child? He has to be the only child, because for something like that to stay with you for so long, you have to be the only child, because you cannot be used to being talked about. Because let me tell you, coming from a big family, there is no way in the world somebody calling you corny should affect you like that if you came from a big family. Because guess what? When you come from a big family, listen, that's all you do is talk about each other. That's all we do is, listen, your roast game, either roast or be roasted. You can, listen, when you have a big family, you don't have time for that. You have to be on it just like that, male or female. Listen, these folks talk, listen, These folks talked about my forehead. So listen, I don't think a forehead joke can offend me. I don't think a big you talk too much type joke can offend me. I don't think well, I ain't flat chested no more, but back in the day, listen, before all of the hormones and the food and before giving birth, you all and weight gain and old age and 30 plus and I wasn't really blessed up in the upper region as I am now, So listen, they used to call me, flat chest, all kinds of stuff. But guess what? Oh, I wasn't no punk. Listen, I was a beast right back. So my thing is, I didn't let that take me out. Like, it didn't get to me like, man, I can't wait to become rich and famous so I can just go and say, look at me now. Oh, you call me corny. Look, I'm not corny. Yeah, you are. I mean, that was like a corny move. Like that, the whole get up in my humble, nobody asked for opinion. But I just thought that was really tacky. And I thought that I'm just like, he from the hood. I'm like, so how you don't have any experience, getting your jabs in? Like, you gotta know when to, come back. Like, corny, bruh. Listen, if you need to be adopted into a bigger family, just let me know, because we do have space available. But I'm gonna tell you now, listen, being in a big family ain't for the weak. Listen, it's not for the faint. I used to always tell my son, he's my only child. And so I have a huge family. Listen, we take no prisoners. Like, by him not growing up with any siblings in the house, sometimes you can be a little sheltered from the way this real world is going to treat you. I'm just like, listen, when you have siblings, they going to call you all kinds. They going to call you everything but a child of God. So when you get out there in the real world, you're not really offended. You're not really bothered by much, because you used to the back and forth banter at home. Now, am I saying that that's right? I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, when you come up in a big family, you have a different type of skin. Like, you have a thicker skin versus being an only child. So I'm thinking that maybe he was an only child. So Michael B. Jordan, if you are only child, woo, 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 I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that you didn't get the talking about at home, because had you got the talking about at home, then when you went to school, what she said wouldn't have bothered you so much. Because listen, folks telling you all day, listen, they talking about your forehead, they talking about your clothes, they talking about your shoes. So by the time you get to school, you ready. Like, by the time you get out in the real world, you are ready for whatever comes your way. So parents, I would say, like, prepare your kids. Like, prepare your kids for the real world. Like, especially if you have an only child, you may have to call them a name or two just so that they can get used to, being called names. Listen, I used to call my son, a couple of names here and there. He used to be tall. I used to call him Coconut Long Boy because he was tall and skinny. So I did that not to shame him, but at the same time, you can't sit up here and think that everything that people are going to be nice to you, like the world is going to be nice to you and always hug you and coddle you and make you feel good. No, you got to be able to defend yourself, and you have to be able to have tough skin. And being an only child is rough, especially in the hood. And especially if you got, like I said, my family, I come from a big family, sisters and brothers, cousins, aunties, like, huge. So it was always some talking about going on. It was always some name calling going on. So, when you get out there and you get to school, it's just like, you ready for it. You like corny, and you go right back in. So Michael B. Jordan, I'm sorry if you didn't get that experience back in 7th and 8th grade, but like, you a full grown man. Like, now is not the time to go and say, I'm gonna get my lick back. No, now's not the time for that. You listen, you missed that window of opportunity, when you were in 7th or 8th grade. So like, just woosah, right? You done checked on the red carpet or whatever. Hopefully you've gotten it out of your system and you can let it go. But who says that being corny is a bad thing? Like, you have to embrace who you are. Like, I mean, that really bugged me, not because it was a woman. I mean, like, I don't, like I say, you said if she put her foot in her mouth and called this man corny, listen, stand on that ish. Yeah, I called you corny. Now you probably ain't gonna never let me interview you. You probably ain't gonna never put me in your movie or write it. You're probably not gonna do none of that, and I'm okay with that. But I called you corny, and I have to stand on that ish. We, the committee, we stand behind you, ma'am, for calling him corny. Corny is because that's how you act. You appear to be a little bit on the stuffy side, but that's okay because there's a woman out here that wants that. See, I could talk to you. See, like because I'm corny, so you got to embrace who you are and not be so offended by everything. But I'm just like, nowadays, baby, listen, people so offended by it. Listen, you can't say jack without folks crying about it. And I don't take it as bullying. Again, if you grew up, I believe he grew up in Newark, New Jersey or something like that. He was definitely from the hood. There's no way in the world that being corny should have taken you out like that. But if it did, we stand behind her. I stand behind her. Now listen, speaking of corny, you all look, they have this new trend. Listen, some of us need to just log off social media and just go get us some real business. But they have this group called Passport Bros. Now, I guess it's a group of Black men going over to different countries doing some corny-ish. I guess they, corny over here in the US. So they think that if they go over to a different country, that they're not going to be considered corny over there. Sir, let me help you. Let me possibly save you a couple of dollars. If you corny here in the US, she thinks you corny over there. She's just trying to get some papers to get back over here to live the American dream. So you can your dummy end over there and marry her and bring her back. When her 2 years or whatever the time frame is up, she's gonna drop your corny behind, just like the ones that didn't want you here. She's gonna drop you and she's gonna have her papers and she's gonna move on to get somebody that she really wants. But this is absolutely ridiculous. What are you going to a different country? Like, how loser-ish is that? Like, how corny is that? Like, you feel like out the whole US, oh yeah, I'm gonna find she's gonna cook for me. Yep, she is. She gonna cook for you. She gonna clean for you, all until she becomes legit. Until she becomes a legit citizen here, then she's gonna drop your raggedy behind. Just like the ones here didn't want to be bothered with you. So, fellas, don't fall for this. It's like all these trends. We love to fall for the trends and we love to just do all of this crazy. Yeah, we passport bros. We going over here. We gonna find us some wives over there because they don't want to cook over here and they don't want to clean over here. Listen, it was one guy, he carried his crazy behind to Dubai and got over there, got his broke crazy behind over there and got stranded, couldn't get back. Now he's on social media whining and begging for somebody to give him $100. Listen, sir, if you can't even afford to take care of yourself here, you can't even afford to get yourself to and from a different country. You calling and whining for $100, but you going somewhere, call yourself trying to find you a wife. Listen, that's why you're trying to go over there, because you think that they don't know what's going on. With all of this social media, if y'all really think that these people don't know what's going on, you are sadly mistaken. So to the Passport Bros, let me tell you, let me go ahead and tell you, I'm gonna speak for them over there. They don't want you either. They don't. They just want the right to be a citizen here. And if you are crazy enough to carry your end over there and bring them back because you think she's submissive, oh yes, master, my lord, and all this, oh yeah, she gonna do all that until they mark her a U.S. citizen. The moment she marked a U.S. citizen, I promise you, she letting you go. Because guess what? If they don't want you over, if the women here don't want you, so you think because you garbage over here, you think that they don't recognize garbage in another country. If you low vibrating here, do you think that they not going to recognize low vibrating in another country? They recognize it. Listen, they on social media just like you are. They see what the trends are, and baby, they getting ready. They getting ready to run all kinds of scams and run all kinds of rings around you, take all your money. Meanwhile, she's serving you, she's cooking for you, she's master and my lord, and all this and that. And me, all the while, she looking at she just marking the calendar down, marking the days when she can get away from your corny behind. So you all get it together. Passport bros, get yourself together. That's all I gotta say. Get yourself together. Because listen, if you can't find a woman and find love within your own community, what makes you think that you can go somewhere else and find real love? You don't even love yourself, putting yourself out there. Oh, if I gotta have a passport, I'm going to another country because they don't listen over here, they don't submit. First of all, what kind of women are you meeting? Where are you meeting them? And are you the man that she could submit to? So just because you got a Chico stick between your legs, does that mean that she's supposed to submit to you? That don't listen. You first of all, the fact that you're going over to a different country to find a so-called wife, to me, that says that you don't even have good leadership abilities. You don't even have good decision-making skills. So why and how would a woman follow somebody that you don't even have good decision-making skills over your own life? So how do you expect a woman to feel comfortable enough to submit to you and follow what you're doing when you don't even have your own stuff together? Like, you have to make it make sense. Like, I don't understand, like, how are you expecting a woman to follow you when you're making irrational, crazy decisions based upon trends that are going on social media? So just listen, get yourself together. Again, if they don't like you over here, I can promise you they're not going to like you in another country. I'm just saying. So I'm going to just save you the thousands of dollars, and I'm going to save you the embarrassment on going over there in another country and getting stuck over there and can't get back. If they don't like you here, they're not going to like you over in another country. So I'm sorry. It just had to be said. And yeah, that's just it. But speaking of other countries and liking you over here, guys, let me tell you. So what do y'all do in a situation like this? Like, your significant other. Have you ever checked your significant other's phone? What do you guys feel about the checking of the phones? Do you feel like that's an insecure move, or do you feel like, you know what, listen, it's my mate, it's my spouse, like, I can check their phone, I can look at their phone, I can do whatever it is that I want to do? What do you guys feel about checking your mate's phone, your significant other phones? Do you feel like it's okay to do that, or do you feel like it's an invasion of their privacy? Has your mate or significant other ever checked your phone? And if so, how did you feel about that? Did you feel violated, or did you feel like, oh, this is my man, I don't care, I don't have anything to hide? Or did you really feel some type of way? Did you feel like, man, I can't believe that they did this. I can't believe that they checked my phone. When it comes to checking phones, I ain't checked the phone. I'm gonna tell you, I ain't checked the phone. Man, I ain't checked the phone. Like, I don't even do the checking the phone. Now, I'm gonna be honest. Now, I have had my Inspector Gadget days. Now, listen, you all, that was back yonder when that I've had my Inspector Gadget days, and I've had my Inspector Gadget ways. But that was way before. That's been a long time ago. Like, Cell phones were not even popping when I, was Inspector Gadget. And one thing that I've learned out of being Inspector Gadget, like, first of all, the only reason why people, and a lot of times it's women, the only time we look through phones is when our intuition is telling us that something is wrong. So am I opposed to women checking phones? I mean, I can't really say that I'm opposed to it. Now, here's why. I'm not really opposed to it because sometimes some people need proof to confirm what it is that they feel like, man, oh, I know it's some ish going on. I know it's some ish going on. I can't put my fingers on it. I gotta look through this phone to see what's going on, because if I ask him, he's not gonna do anything but lie. He's not gonna tell me the truth. She's not gonna tell me the truth. They're not gonna do anything but lie. But if I look through the phone, then maybe maybe I'll find what's going on. And I think that that's the most time that women do look through the phone, is like, man, you know what? I feel something is going on. Like, it's my intuition. And a lot of times when our intuition is telling us some ish, we probably want to go ahead on and listen to it, because a lot of times our intuition be right. Like, our intuition is right about those things. And I'm not saying that, yeah, listen, go ahead, we're gonna go ahead on and have us a look in each other's phone fest and all this and that. I'm not saying that. But I'm also not saying that I'm opposed to if she or he has a feeling that something is going on. I also don't feel like it's anything like, would I want somebody to check in my phone or look through my phone? If you feel I'm up to no good, then you got to do what you got to do. But I'll say this, if you look through somebody's phone and you find what you're looking for, here's what I have the problem with. This is the honest problem that I have when people look through phones. If you look through a phone and you found something, you found you found her fans only, where she was getting it in with whoever. You found a video that he made. You know that this is at his house. You know that this is a recent video when you all are together. Like, you have concrete evidence. You found it and you still stay. You confront them about it, you get mad, you do all of this, but you still stay. That's the part that I don't like. Like, you saw the video right here. You saw the fans only. You saw all of that, and yet you still confront them and they lie. You clown for a bit, but you still stay. Don't do that. If you snoop through somebody's phone, you look through your significant other's phone, and if you find some ish in there and you're like, man, see what I'm saying? I knew it was something going on. Before you even confront them, make a decision on what it is that you're going to do. Are you just going to clown and cuss them out and still stay? Or are you going to clown, cuss them out, and leave? Because if you're going to go with door number one, with clown and cuss them out and stay, stop going through their phone and don't confront them. What's the purpose of confronting them and you're still going to stay so that they can know that you went through their phone? What's the purpose of confronting them? They lying, but you believe it. So you're going to believe the lies that they tell, or you're going to believe your lying eyes. Yeah, I said it. You going to believe the lie that they told you, or they telling you, or are you going to believe your lying eyes? And that's going to run into what we're going to be talking about tonight, manipulation and control. You know good and doggone well you saw your girl slobbing all on somebody else's bob. And she told you that was before y'all was together. But you notice that she got on the bracelet in the video that you just bought her this past Swedish Day. But you listen to the lies that she told you instead of your lying eyes. You saw what you saw. You know what you know. But you chose to believe the lie that she told you. If that's the case, don't even waste your time confronting these people, because it's just like, it's ridiculous, because now you've said, you know what? I give you the right to cheat on me. You can do whatever it is that you want to do, because I'm going to believe whatever you say. I'm going to believe the lie that you're telling me, opposed to what I know I just saw in your phone. I'm going to believe the lies that you're telling me, because I just that badly want to be with you. And it's sad, because now you put yourself through all of this unnecessary hurt, all of this unnecessary pain, all of this unnecessary disappointment. You've done all of that for what? And you still stayed. So if you're going to look and confront and stay, don't confront. Just listen, take it to the Lord in prayer, because you're going to look double. You're going to look stupid twice, because you know you saw it with your own eyes and you still stay. So that's just like saying, you know what? Listen, it's okay. I don't mind, I don't mind you cheating. I don't mind you doing whatever. That's exactly what that tells them, when you know for a fact that you saw them with your own eyes and you still choose to stay. So if you're going to stay, like I say, I'm not telling you to leave or break up with anybody. I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm telling you is to not confront them. You found some ish, but you still, I'm a cussing out off on the buses. What you gonna bust his car windows out for? You're gonna bust his car windows out on Tuesday, and you're gonna be paying to get them fixed on Thursday, because now you back in. I love him. Listen, you wasting money. Stop destroying stuff. Stop wasting your time. Stop raising your blood pressure all up high when you know you ain't going nowhere. So only confront somebody when you ready to make a move. But if you know you're not going to make a move, listen, stay out these folks' phones. Let them continue to do what they're doing. Let them do it in peace. And then you live in peace. You continue to live in la la land. And I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes it's peaceful there. Sometimes people are not ready to confront the reality of their relationships, the reality of their marriages. So I'm not even faulting you for that, because here's the thing. When a person has put so much time and effort into a relationship and now you feel it slipping away, sometimes some people can't take that. Some people are not ready to accept the fact that, man, he doing all this, she doing all that. You know the relationship is over, but you're going to turn a blind eye and act like you don't see all of the signs that the relationship is over. Like they're gone, like they're doing their own thing. And some folks, truth be told, some folks waiting to get caught. Some folks are being so messy and so sloppy, they want you to catch them so that they can leave. But you keep on acting like you don't see it. You keep on acting like you don't see it, so they keep on doing, they saying like, dang, what more do I have to do to make her leave? Now, I know she just seen me with Miss Roberta over here at the chicken. I know she saw that video. I know she been through my phone. I know how I leave my phone, so I know she saw it. And yes, she's still here. Or him. Now, I know I seen all the Magnum condoms in her purse. When she left, she had 4. She came back home, ain't no condoms in there. Was she giving out for trick or treat? So it's like, it's not easy. It's not easy to confront somebody about the lies and the deception. So what I'm saying is, if you're not going to do some action, then don't waste your time going through the phones. Don't wait. Listen, do not put that type of pressure on your heart, because listen, just continue to live your life and just act like you don't even see it. Just act like you don't even see it. because you're not gonna do nothing but make them lose the utmost respect for you, because at least if you don't know, then they're continuing to sneak around and do it behind your back. But the moment you confront them and you stay, and they don't make any effort to change their ways or to try to do better or to try to do right by you, then you have lost, like, they'll lose respect for you. They'll lose respect for you because you didn't take action. You went through all of that to find out you know the truth, and you still stay there. So be mindful. So am I for checking phones and all this and that? Would I do it? I'm not checking nobody's phone, because here's the deal. If it's worth losing me, that's fine. Because here's, when I'm gone, I'm gone. When I'm done, I'm done. I believe in putting my all and giving my all for a relationship. But once I check out, I'm done. So I'm not checking no phone. I'm not going and looking, and I'm not popping up, and I'm not doing all that, because I do know that what's done in the dark will come to the light. I know that if you're doing anything behind my back, I already know it's going to come full circle. And when it comes full circle, just being good and grown and being in the 30 plus age range, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not gonna cuss with you. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm gonna pack my bags and I'm gonna go. I'm not blocking nobody. I'm not doing all that. I'm gonna just go on with my life, because if what you were doing behind my back, if it was worth it, man, more power to you. I'm like, listen, all I can say is I hope that you found what you were looking for. I hope you found your happiness in your forever home, beloved. I hope you found that. But as for me, I'm good. No, I'm good. No confronting, no arguing, no. Now listen, when I get behind closed doors, listen, it's gonna hurt, especially if you love them. It's gonna hurt, but I'm not gonna let you see me sweat. I'm not gonna let you see me break down. Listen, I'll do all that ish in the privacy of my own home. I'm not doing all of that through, I'm not doing all that. Pretty Barbie, you're saying, no, I never looked through my ex-partner's phone, because at the end of the day, if they are going to cheat on you, they will, no matter what. Absolutely. I'm like, I'm not looking through no phones. I'm not popping up nowhere. I'm not doing any of that. But when it comes, because I know, listen, I'm telling you, my intuition, I already know me and my intuition, we just like this. So I'm like, girl, what? You up? Okay. I'm like, all right, I'm on alert. I tell myself, my intuition say, okay, as of now, we are on notice. And I'm like, okay, just sit back and just watch as the ish unfolds. And once it unfolds, I'm like, all right, well, you played your hand. There you have it, folks. There you have it. And that will be the end of that. Like I say, now back in the day, I used to listen, Inspector Gadget. Listen, I could have taught a class on how to catch them. And I've caught them. Caught them, clown, stayed. Like, what? Listen, so you subjected yourself to being in them TT West Side bushes, and you still stayed. That's what I was saying to myself. I'm like, I'm over here crap down, hunched down behind these shades, the bushes and stuff. I'm like, oh, I know. Oh, is that him? Oh, that son of a. Confront him, clown, and still stayed. Worst thing ever. What the heck you doing all that clowning for? And you still, baby, I'm sorry. It wasn't even like that. I wasn't. Again, so I'm not gonna listen to my lying eyes. I'm gonna listen to your lying lips. All that. I'm just like, all that time wasted, all of that energy clowning and then staying. And then you think that it will get worse? You think that it gets better, or they will stop the cheating or whatever it is that they were doing once they've been caught? Oh, baby, now that, listen, they're more comfortable now because they know they got you. They know you ain't going nowhere. They know that if you do catch them, you ain't gonna do nothing but do what you did the last time, but you still gonna stay. So save yourself the trouble, save yourself the heartache and the pain. If you're not gonna leave, don't waste your time confronting anybody. Just keep on and just listen. Let them do what they gonna do until you get yourself together. Listen, just keep on. Don't even worry about it. Just act like if they coming in at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning and you ain't ready to make some major decisions that's going to change their behavior, and if they're not willing to change that behavior, don't waste your time, and don't put out idle threats. Don't put out these ultimatums. If you gonna do this, or you gonna act. We can have a conversation. I'm for conversations, but I'm not for giving no grown folks no ultimatums. Either you do this or else. We ain't doing that. I just said, listen, what we doing? What you doing? What we doing? Because if we ain't doing nothing, if we ain't doing this, that's fine. Holla at your girl. I'm okay. I'm okay. You won't have to hear from me no more. I promise you. You won't hear from me. And that's how it has to be when you know your worth. Like, stop giving yourself away at discounted prices. Stop letting people take and get the best of you once you find out. And some people will say, that's what they get for going through my phone. You shouldn't have, you found what you was looking for. Yeah, I found what I was looking for. That's the purpose of me looking. Because I knew it was some ish that was going on. So people say, if you go looking around, you're gonna find something. That's the purpose, right? Ain't that the purpose of looking? To find some ish. I'm looking because I'm trying to find out what's going on. So that ain't why, oh, well, that's why you found that. That's why she found that video. When you go looking for trouble, you find, no, that's not true. Because if you wasn't cheating, I can look all I want to. But if you ain't out there living foul, if people are not out there living foul, there's nothing to find. So don't let people make you feel bad because you have a suspicion and you want to find out what's going on. And then you find it and they be like, well, if you wouldn't have went through her phone, you would never even found it. That don't mean that she wasn't cheating. That just means that she wouldn't have found out about it. They were still cheating. If they wasn't, it would have been in the phone. So it's not you gonna find what you're looking for. Of course, that's the purpose of me looking, to find what I'm looking for. And when I find it, that's it. You better find yourself when I find it. Speaking of finding, now guys, listen, there was a picture going on circulating. The young lady, my gosh, she bought an old car. I don't know if she bought it or her guy bought it. But this car was like at least a 90-something car. And she bought it and she's paying $289 for it for 84 months. But the way she is so excited about this car, like, how would you feel like when people buy you things or give you things? Are you grateful for it? Or even if it's not brand new, or even if it's not something that you necessarily wanted, are you grateful for it? Or are you only grateful if it's something that you wanted or if it's something that you liked? So if somebody gave you some tickets to a really, like an opera, but you're not into the opera, but they were thinking about you, the seats were great, how would you respond to that? But you're not an opera fan, but you don't even know if you're an opera fan because you've never even been to the opera. Would you graciously accept those tickets to the opera, or would you snub the person's gesture at being nice to you and just being thoughtful because it wasn't some tickets to maybe the New Edition concert or to go see, Anita Baker or somebody like that, or whoever you, or if it wasn't some Beyonce tickets. It wasn't Beyonce tickets, but they thought about you and they said, you know what, this might be nice. Let me get this for this person, just to show my appreciation or just to show that I was thinking about them. So they got you tickets to the opera, but not to Beyonce. Would you still graciously accept that and use the same level of enthusiasm as though they were tickets to see Beyonce? Or since it wasn't tickets to see Beyonce, would you be, would you not be happy about it? Because it's the thought. To me, I'm always thinking like it's the thought that counted. They were thinking about you and they said, maybe they've never done this. Let me get them some tickets. Or just simply they were thinking about you. It may not be something that is up your alley, or it may not be something that you like, but they were thinking about you. So do you graciously accept it, or do you just like shun it off? Do you just be like, whatever. I mean, like, I really don't care. Like, it wasn't something, it's not like I like this performer, I don't like this, would you do that, or would you accept it graciously? My thing is this, like, if somebody thinks about you to do something for you, to give you something, why not have a gracious heart? Like, why not be thankful for it? Why not be grateful for it? It's like sometimes we lose out and miss out on our own blessings simply because we're not grateful, simply because we don't have a grateful heart. And it's like, if you're not grateful over something that I just call myself doing for you out the goodness of my heart, why would I want to do anything else for you? So it's just like, we have to be thankful. Be thankful that people think about you, from the littlest thing to the biggest thing. Like, I always feel like I'm so grateful, whether it's something that I like or I wanted or what. My thing is this: you won't know how I feel about it if I didn't like it. You will never know. I'm not gonna, because I don't put that type of energy out there. You will never know what you've given me or what you've done that I didn't like it. Because although I may not have liked it, I appreciate it. I appreciate the thought. I appreciated the gesture. So therefore, whatever it is that you did, I liked it by default, because again, it was the thought, it was the gesture, it was the action behind it, it was the thought behind it. And I think that a lot of us lose that. That's why we like, you don't have nothing, you ain't gonna get nothing, because we always, we not thankful. And then it's like, we show it. This young lady, if this man bought her this car, even though it was an old car, baby, the way this young lady is so excited, and they done slap the red bow on there and slap the red ribbon on there. Listen, she could get anything. He's like, man, when I come up and I get some more money and I'm able to do better in life, I'm gonna give her the world, because she accepted graciously and she was genuinely happy about the car that he got her. We may say, oh, that old raggedy car, please. I wish somebody would give me that old raggedy car. I wish I would. Guess what? What if she went from being on a bus to being in an old raggedy car? Would that not matter? To me, that says a lot. Like, man, I'm gonna be honest, I would have had the same reaction that the young lady did, because I would be looking at the big picture. I'm not looking at the fact that it's an old car. I'm looking at the fact that, Dad, you got me this car. Man, that's a blessing. Now I don't have to take the bus no more. That's how I would be thinking about it. I don't care because it's old or it's not the newest car. It's not the best looking car. The fact is, it works. It gets me to where I got to go. I'm thankful for. You're saving me time. You're saving me from being freezing in the cold. You're saving me from being hot, having to stand out there in the sun. You've made things more convenient just by thinking about me. But most of us, baby, we like, no. And I had somebody do me like, I had a kid do me like that. I'm just like, trying to give them something. And they looked and they were like, no, I'm good. I don't, no, I'm good. I'll do something else. Now, what do y'all think? Because some people have a difference of opinion. Some people like, you know what? How are people going to know what to give you and what you like if you never speak up? And my thing is, if you wanted to know what I like or what I wanted, you would have asked me. But if you're doing something to surprise me, I'm not going to tell you, oh, I didn't like that, because here's the thing. It kills that wanting to do something for them. It like, you offend people. You offend people, because I've been offended like that. I'm like, I call myself thinking about people doing certain things, and, to just be greeted with, I don't even like this. Like, oh my God, how could you get, because I was thinking about you. But now, you know what that did? That stopped me from buying things that I thought of, that I saw. I'm like, I wonder if this person would like this. I like this. Let me get this for them. I think that this would be nice. That stops me from doing that. That killed it. Simply because I'm just like, you're not grateful. I would feel, me personally, I'm like, I'll feel better if you accepted it and didn't like it and gave it away. Not to somebody I know, because, you somebody and they come back and you like, I bought you those pots and pans. Why you getting them pots and pans away? Then it'll be a little problem. Or, listen, you come back cooking dinner and you looking like, you don't never use the pots and pans that I bought you. And now you don't got them. So y'all got to be real careful for that tricky stuff. But my thing is, when people are doing something for you, just accept it graciously, and man, just treat people how you want to be treated. I mean, I'm all about it's the thought that count. Like, you thought about me and you didn't have to. And that's, if you look at things like that, it'll save us from being reckless with our mouths, being reckless with our intentions. It'll definitely save us a lot of that. Now, speaking of being reckless with our hearts and our mouths, what do you guys think about this? So the guy and his the father and the mother, they're co-parenting, and they have boys, and the boys had long dread, they had locks. So the mother got the boys locks. So one day the boys go over to spend the night over the father's house, and he cuts their locks off. So when they return home to their mom, they're all sad and they're devastated because the father has cut their locks off. But the father is like, these are my boys and I don't want them having long hair. But the mom wanted them to have locks. Who's wrong in the situation? Like, how would you handle that situation? The father doesn't want the boys to have long hair. The mother is like, well, it's not really long hair. Locks, it's not a feminine style. Locks is, a part of our culture as being Black men and Black women. It's a part of our culture, but the father doesn't see it like that. So who's wrong? How should that situation have been handled? And it's just like, when you're talking about co-parenting, listen, we have to work together. And you have to find, it's so important to use the C word, compromise. It's so important to do that, because the father has every right to feel how he feels as far as not wanting his sons to have long hair. The mother is well within her rights to feel how she wants to feel in regards to the boys wearing the locks. So how do you resolve that? First, a conversation before the locks were grown out. See, it's like both sides. Like, a conversation should have been had. Like, listen, The boys are gonna draw, I'm gonna let the boys grow some locks out. What do you think about that? And then the flip side is father, you saw the hair growing and you saw them turning into locks. So it's like, if you had a problem with it, then why not address it before, the locks are fully grown out and before the boys are totally, attached to the hairstyle? Why do something like that to devastate them? So it's just like, we have to do better. We got to do better with communicating with each other, and especially when it comes to co-parenting. Like, one parent, like, voice or what they want to be done should not outweigh the other. And a lot of times the mother's voice does outweigh if she has custody of the kids. But do I think that that's necessarily fair? No, I don't. If the father is actively participating in his child's or his children's lives, then what he feels about certain matters should matter. His input should matter, and it should be respected. So it's just like, okay, if he's like, okay, I don't want them to have these long locks. So one compromise could be, well, you know what? We won't let them get so long, but can we compromise to just have them at a certain length? There's room for compromise, but it's just like, we just jump right to the, these my kids, I'm doing this, or he can't have no locks. I'm the father. I said what I said. No, look, you not like that on your job. Because if you was like that on your job, you wouldn't have no job. So it's like, you have to work with others. So it's like, when you co-parenting, you got to co-parent. Like, I'm not going to always be right. He not going to always. We have to find a common ground, and you have to be prepared to meet in the middle. But we have to do better with just overall communicating. It's like, sometimes, like, man, like, I'll be like, look, I'm going to give up my right for your wrong because I just want to have a peaceful outcome. I'm not always right. I'm not always wrong. But what I don't want to do is spend time arguing and going back and forth, because it's not getting us anywhere. We're not getting anywhere by going back and forth. Somebody has to retreat. Now, if you are the retreating type and you know that you're dealing with somebody that never wants to retreat, you have to find out how to, keep yourself encouraged and how to keep yourself hanging in there, because some folks, again, they act like they are just never wrong. And listen, baby, they won't apologize to save their life. They will not apologize to save their life. They ain't, listen, they not conceding to nothing. They don't care. And that's just how it is. That's just how they are. They like, listen, it is what it is. I said what I said, and no is no. So just be mindful on that. Choose your battles wisely. Now, listen, speaking of choosing battles wisely, would you ever co-sign for an apartment or a car for a really good friend or a family member? What do you guys think? Is it ever a good idea to co-sign for someone that needs a car or they need an apartment? Is it ever a good idea to co-sign? You got this good credit. You done worked so hard to get this good credit, baby. And they coming and they all messed up. They like, oh, I need, can you co-sign for me so I can get this car? Not gonna do it. I don't think that co-signing is not a good idea. Co-signing makes enemies. I'm just gonna tell you like that. Co-signing creates enemies. If you co-signing for folks, you are creating an enemy. Like, don't listen. Co-signing is not good. Like, let's not co-sign. We're not gonna co-sign. Co-signing, look at it like this. Co-signing makes enemies. So if you want that person to be an enemy, then co-sign for them and watch and see. Co-sign for somebody or borrow them any type of money nowadays. Borrow any money and co-sign, baby, that's going to be the quickest way to create an enemy with somebody that was once a friend. They will become a foe. With a family member, they will become a foe. But co-signing is rarely a good idea because people not right. Like if you didn't do right by your name and you didn't do right by your credit, what makes you think what makes me think, and the person that's co-signing, what makes you think that the person that did not care about their name and didn't care about their credit, what makes you think that they're going to value your name and your credit? They ain't got to pay for it. They not responsible for it. So why would you put yourself out there like that? Now, I used to be like that. I used to want to help and kumbaya and all this and that. But once I loaned, I'm going to tell y'all what stopped me from doing that. Once I loaned out a certain amount of money to a friend, and I'm like, okay, first of all, people never pay you back when they say they're gonna pay you back. They find it's like everything, all kinds of everything gets in the way of them paying you back. I can't stand when a son of a gun owe me some money. Now you done got ghost with the phone calls. Now you can't be reached. I'm gonna give you your little money. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do so. It's always little. Now that you have to pay, now I want it back. It's always little, but it wasn't little when I gave it to you. It wasn't little when I borrowed it to you, but now that I want it back, now it's little. You ain't got to be sweating and calling me like, listen, you want to get rid of somebody, borrow them some money and see how fast they disappear. Borrow them some money and see how fast they get ghost. Co-sign on something and let them miss a payment and see how fast they disappear. See how fast they have amnesia. So co-signing and borrowing, listen, co-signing is not a good idea. Even if it's for your kids getting out the house. Listen, the teen, they're about to get out the house and they're about to go to college and things of this nature. And you want to co-sign. Don't co-sign. Because here's the thing. You have, as a parent, we have to teach them and we have to help them get situated so when they get out, they won't need you to co-sign for anything. That's one thing I always tell my son. I was like, you know what? Before you leave home, you're going to already be able to stand on your own 2 feet. It's my job to show you how to set up your credit. It's my job to show you how to be a good shepherd over your finances and how to take care of your name. It's my job to teach you about credit. It's my job to teach you about saving and paying bills. That's my job as a parent. So when you leave, you don't need me for anything. I'm still here as a resource, but when you go out to get your house or your apartment or a condo or whatever it is, you shouldn't need my name. You shouldn't need me to co-sign for anything, because first 2 things, if I did it right, then I've already put you in position to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. Now, some parents, listen, they put you in position to stand on your own 2 feet. But some young folks, if you're not coachable, then you're going to need a co-signer. Now, your parent, they don't try to tell you what to do and try to help guide you, but you can't quit buying all these phone products. You can't keep from you got a credit card, but Beyonce coming, baby. So you don't win and swipe them $3,000 for you and your good Judy to go to the Beyonce concert. That's not being a good shepherd over your finances. They said to use this card for emergency purposes. It is an emergency. This only gonna be a once in a lifetime. No, it's not. She gonna be touring somewhere else. She may not be touring right in your city, but she gonna be touring somewhere else. So that's not an example of being a good shepherd over your finances. So it's like, if they're putting you in position and you mess your ish up, and then when it's time for you to get out and need your own place, now you're gonna have to pay for your decisions. You're gonna have to pay. Now you can't get a car. You got to stay on a bus because you need a co-signer. But you thought that it was more important to buy the tickets to this concert, or you thought that it was more important for you to upgrade your phone for the 1,000th time. You thought that was more important than getting a car. So now you've messed up your credit and all this other stuff. Now you're looking for somebody to co-sign. That's not going to happen. And then for these grown folks that you out here, living my best life. You going over to all these other countries to get you a BBL, BBW, a Big Mac, Big Bag, Birkin, whatever y'all going over there to do. And now you got to move, but you behind on your rent. So now they putting you out. Now you got an eviction on your name. Now you need somebody to co-sign. Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please and thank you. You're not gonna have me out here. So now I ain't gonna have no place to say, oh, I'm taking the person that's co-signing is taking on another debt, because once you default and mess up their name, now you adding your stress onto my life because you already didn't do right by your name. So now I put myself in position for you not to do right by me. So just be mindful and be ever ye so careful with co-signing and putting your name on other people's getting an apartment for somebody and all this and that. Those things are almost never a good idea. It's almost never a good idea to co-sign for anybody. It's almost never a good idea to put your name on anything for anybody, because again, if you didn't think enough of your name, then I know good doggone well you're not gonna think of my name. And here's the deal: when you don't do it, listen, they get to doing this ish. They get to, oh, well, you don't love me, or you ain't, don't nobody try to look out for me. Ain't nobody trying to do nothing for me. Listen, I'm not falling for all that. If you messed up your name and you messed up your stuff, that's on you. I don't got nothing to do with that. But what you're not gonna do is you're not gonna take me down with you. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm not going. I got too much other stuff to do. And if you feel some type of way about me not, co-signing, I can respect that. But all you do is just sit back and be like, I'm glad I didn't put my name on that ish, because they ain't finna do nothing but tear these folks' name up. And then listen, we gonna be enemies. Now it's gonna be your little credit. You act like you couldn't do this. No, I didn't act like it. I know I couldn't, and I didn't. Not doing it whatsoever. So it's just like, get it together, and that's just how it's gonna be. But co-signing, co-sign, I don't care if it's for a car, especially not a car, and especially not, listen, a car, a credit card. Man, it's just, listen, keep your name to yourself. If you want to have peace and you want to be happy, keep your name off other people's ish. Now, guys, listen, we're going to go ahead and get into our topic for tonight. Tonight, we're talking about manipulation and control. And see, just as we were talking about putting your name and co-signing and stuff, listen, people will try to manipulate you and make you feel bad because you decided to put your own best interest first. You decided to save your credit. So now you wrong because you don't want to put your name on their apartment because they was partying and they got kicked out. They stopped paying their rent, so they get kicked out. So, but you wrong if you decide not to co-sign for them. No, you're not wrong. No, you're not. No, you are not wrong. You are not wrong whatsoever. You have to save your name and save your future. Again, they messed up their stuff. So why am I going to put you in position to mess my stuff up? I'm sorry. I'm just not going to be able to do it. But they'll come along with these manipulation tactics and they'll try to manipulate you and make you feel bad. That's an example. But when you talk about manipulation and control, so let's just get the definition. So according to an online source, manipulation is the control or influence of a person or situation, cleverly, unfairly, or unscrupulously. Yes, you got a lot of people that have zero scruples. That means, listen, no moral compass, no care in the world, no concern for nobody else but themselves, no integrity. Their character is on zero. Their moral compass is on zero. No scruples whatsoever. They exploit you and they mislead you. In these situations, it's just like being in a relationship or being married to somebody that's a manipulator. Baby, listen, you are in for the ride of your life when you're dealing with manipulation and control. A controlling person is just like, you don't know, like sometimes you don't even see it coming, and it's like you're always in a whirlwind because they're always up to something. They're always up to no good. They're always looking to fix a situation. They always looking to turn some things around. Now, here's the deal. Here's what control is. Control is the power, or control is the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. So it's just like the manipulation and the control, it works hand in hand. And many controlling people are master manipulators. They make their mate or their spouse, emotions work in the controlling person's favor. Like they're so controlling, it's just like, and manipulative. It's just like, that they're wrong. But manipulating person and a controlling person, baby, to get them to admit that they wrong will never, ever happen. You have a good chance on getting struck by lightning before you have them, a manipulative person, or a controlling person, to admit that they're wrong. And when a person is using manipulation tactics, they tend to switch the blame or responsibility of situations. So it's just like, that you've caught them in a lie, you've caught them doing something wrong or something that offended you, and so you try to bring it to their attention, and by the time you're done talking, they have switched that entire situation around. Now you're wrong for even bringing the situation up to them. You've become the person that is wrong. They make you feel guilty, they make you feel bad, when in fact they're wrong. So it's like we have to be mindful, because people will play with your emotions, people will play with your heart, people will play with your understanding, they will play with your niceness, because some people really think that nice people are slow. Some people really think that nice people are stupid, but that's not the case. Nice people tend to see more than they say. They tend to know more than they say. Nice people, I'm one of them. See, what you do sometimes, if you got a good one, they just compile, and they just let you just keep digging yourself in a ditch. And once you've dug yourself in the ditch, they look down at you in the ditch and they keep walking by. Why? You did that to yourself. You did this to the relationship. You did this to the marriage. You didn't appreciate it. You didn't appreciate what you had until now it's gone. So we have to be very careful when we think that we're getting over on people, because I mean, it's like, it's nothing worse than dealing with somebody that, like, come on, man, like, really? So you finna sit up here and just keep doing all this line, like, okay, I know what's going on, but now you trying to make me feel like, or make me think that I'm stupid, like I don't know. No, I ain't caught you, but I do know 1 + 1 is 2. 1 × 1 is 1. So I do know when you put some things together, so it goes back to earlier what we're talking about, going through somebody's phone and stuff like that, or popping up on them. There's no need to do that, because again, when 1 + 1 = 2, and what you adding up, what you got going on and what you're saying is not adding up, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to let you do you. See, a manipulative person and a person that just likes to be controlling, they want everything. They want to control the situation. They want to control and manipulate you, and then they want to control and manipulate this person. But then when they're confronted with it, they throw the rock, but then hide their hands. And that's never an easy situation to be in. So it's just like we got to be very mindful, and you got to be careful when you're dealing with these type of people, when you're dealing with somebody that is a manipulator, or you're dealing with somebody that's controlling, because it can ruin you. And there are some signs of when a person that is controlling. Now, here are a few signs of a controlling behavior in a relationship or in a marriage. Here are some signs that that person is controlling. And you know what? They need the Lord. They need the Lord and a whole lot of therapy. Don't think that you can change these people because they don't even acknowledge that they're doing anything wrong. But one sign of a controlling behavior is they tend to want to isolate you from your family and friends. They don't want anybody around you. Like, oh, they want you all for themselves, but they ain't never there. They ain't nowhere around, but they don't want you to be. They not around you, but they don't want you to be around anybody else. Example of controlling behavior. The next one is they criticize you constantly. Nothing, you can't do anything right. Everything that you do, they're always criticizing you. They always tearing it down. They're always tearing down what you're doing. And then they constantly snoop and check up on you. They want to check. But what time did you make it to work? What time you making home? Listen, fellas, listen, this and controlling people are not just men. Listen, there are some controlling women as well. So these behaviors apply to both men and women. Listen, you get off of work at 5:00 and you typically make it home by 5:30. One day you didn't make it home at 5:30. As long as you make it home at 5:30, they fine. But the moment sometimes go by and you don't make it home at 5:30, you may make it home 5:35, 5:40. What took you so long to get home? You don't never get home at this time. Where you stopped up, you better come. Don't stop off nowhere. You need to come straight home. What did you stop up? Like, wait a minute. Last time I checked, I'm grown. Like, if I'm going to be longer than normal, then out of courtesy for my relationship, then I'm going to give a call. Babe, I'm stopping off here. I'll be home a little bit later. Sometimes some of us get it twisted, like we can't call and check in. Like, that doesn't make you any less grown. I mean, to me, it makes you more responsible because you don't know if the other person is worrying. And it's a difference between worrying and being a controller. I'm not complaining because you came in 10 minutes later. But if it's 30 minutes and you stopped off, now you could at least give me a heads up because you know that I'm expecting you, or you know that I'm waiting. But this is stuff when people live together, or you're married and you live together. Then that's the only time that these things will come into play. But if you live separately and you don't know what time they coming home, you don't know each other's schedule. So that checking in stuff, that doesn't really pertain to a couple that does not live together, unless your person is just on the highest level of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and you may need to take them to get a prescription and talk to somebody. And I'm just saying that's really true. They may need to talk to somebody. The next one is they are master manipulators. Listen, a controlling person loves to play mind games. They love to play mind games. Like, God, like, it's so tiresome. Like, are you ever going to take responsibility for anything that you do? And oftentimes they don't. A controlling person, they enjoy making you feel like you don't measure up, like you're not worthy. If you're a successful person and you're dealing with somebody that's controlling or a manipulator, they enjoy making you feel like your success is not really success, like, or you're successful because maybe if you're a woman and you wear tight clothes to work all the time, that's the only reason why you're successful. Or if you're a man, oh, you're only successful because you work around a whole bunch of women, so of course they were going to promote. Like, a controlling person never they never want to let you feel like you measure up. They enjoy belittling you. And then also, some controlling people, listen, they want to tell you how to dress, where to go, where to eat, who to talk to, who not to talk to. Like, they don't want you with your friends. Now, you've been with these people since grammar school. Now you get controlling Joe, and he's just like, no, I don't want you hanging with them because they always going to the club. Babe, we've been friends since grammar school. Like, I don't club like that. So we're together, and when was the last time you seen me club? They club and they do what they gonna do, but that's not me. Well, birds of a feather flock together. So if they clubbing out there, then they gonna be trying to get you out there to club too. I have my own mind. But they'll try to pick at that relationship with you and the friends to eventually, you guys are not friends. Now, the flip side, you got Control and Kathy. Why they always got to come over here and play the game? Why you always playing the game? Y'all shouldn't be playing the game. You need just all is just everything you do. They just she just chatting. You just want to take the remote and just turn her volume off, because that's all she doing is just talking, just pause it. Can't just take, if she had batteries, I swear for Lord, you want to take them batteries out, throw them in the street, and run them over. That's just how much she be running that mouth. And I know some of y'all get tired of these mouths. Listen, I'm telling you, because I can have a mouth too. But you get tired of this, just this. Ladies, sometimes we got to just chill on that. Because I know, listen, I am a talker to the fullest extent, and I can talk, but I'm striving. And you know what? I'm going to tell y'all something. It took for my son to be like, really, beloved, you just love to hear yourself talk, don't you? I was like, well, as a matter of fact, I do. I do love to hear myself talk. But it wasn't until now he's a grown man. Now it's like he helps me to see, man, I am a lot. Like, but you have to know yourself. And it's like, if you know you a lot, if you know you a lot, clap your hands. I have to do those type of exercises to myself, because I know I'm a lot. But this ain't about me. This is about us as a whole. But when you are that way, or you are with somebody, you shouldn't want to control them. You shouldn't want to control the situations. You should want whatever is supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen. Like, sometimes we just got to take our hands off of trying to fix situations and trying to maneuver and put things together, and let things happen the way that they're supposed to happen. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, there's no amount of controlling. If you got to control somebody and manipulate them for the relationship to work, or for the marriage to work, is that relationship or is that marriage really working? Is it really working, or are you orchestrating things to keep it together? And some people, listen, some people like that. Some people like, listen, I'm down to do whatever I have to do to keep my relationship and to make it work. And if you're that type of person that feels like, okay, you know what, I need to be in control, I need to fix the situation so that I can ensure that he stays with me, or that I can ensure that she stays with me. If you that person, then, you got to ask yourself, why am I like this? Why can't I just let a person make their free choice? And if the choice is not me, then why can't I be okay with that? Because here's the thing, like, when a person really loves you and they want to be with you, you ain't got to do all that extra stuff. And If they don't want to be with you, you ain't got to do all that extra stuff. If they don't want to be with you, the only thing you can do is just open up, put your hands up and surrender and let them go. Let them go, and you find somebody that you don't have to feel the need to control. You find someone that you don't have to feel the need to manipulate the situation, or it's not always, because it's like it's stressful to always be on pins and needles thinking what this person is doing behind your back, or when they're not with you, or when they're not around you. Listen, you can put tracking devices on them, you can call them, you can blow up their phone, you can hack their phone, you can hack their emails and all, you can do all of that. But how happy are you? Like, if you can't, are you willing to live the rest of your days looking over your shoulder? Are you willing to live the rest of your days checking behind your mate or your spouse? If you answer yes to that, you need to talk to somebody, because that's not normal. It's not normal to want to have to control somebody. It's not normal for wanting to have to look over your shoulder and call this person and check and see if they're over there and call that person. That's not normal. And you deserve better, and they deserve better. So if you're in a situation like that, listen, I know a lot of us have been through some things. These relationships, people are not always honest, and people play games and all this other stuff. That is true. We cannot act like that is not a real situation. But if you're carrying that into a new relationship, or if you've carried that into your marriage, you want to talk to somebody, because that's no way to live. You don't want to live in mental and emotional bondage. You don't want to be bound by the things that have happened to you in your past. That just may be a sign of, okay, man, maybe I'm not ready. I'm not healed. I haven't healed from my past traumas. I haven't healed from my past hurts and my past pain. I haven't healed. And maybe I need to talk to somebody. And it's okay to have to talk to somebody. But what's not okay is feeling the need to manipulate and control others, because the only person that you should be worrying about governing accordingly is yourself. And the moment, and you got to know you're crazy. We're going to talk about that. You got to know you're crazy. You got to know what your crazy meter is. You got to know what your crazy level is. And you got to know the difference between a healthy amount of crazy and then when your crazy is up here. Because if your crazy is up here, listen, you need some professional help. Not joking. Listen, mental health is real. So if you feel yourself, if you're always on edge and always thinking they cheating and thinking they doing up to something, and this is for every relationship that you're in, you may want to take a time out from dating. You may want to take a time out from being in relationships and talk to a professional so that you can get to the root of why you react like that. And then once you feel like you've gotten control of that, then maybe ease back out there. But if you feel that tinge of crazy raising up, you have to find ways. And that's what the therapist and people, when you go talk to them, they can help you find ways to cope with that so that you don't allow that crazy to raise up and manifest to an unhealthy level. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a coach or none of that. I'm just a person that learned how to manage my crazy, and it's like every day is a process. So it's like we all have some level of crazy. Your crazy may be different than mine, but at the end of the day, I do believe that we all have a tinge of something that we need to work on to get under control. And sometimes you need help with that, and it's okay. But what's not okay is feeling the need to manipulate and control. That's not okay. Guys, listen, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I hear all that ice and all that stuff coming down. I'm like, I'm so glad I stayed my crazy behind here. But I thank you guys so much for joining me. Please do me a favor, go to our page and like our page at the J Spot. Follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot Radio, you guys. And J is spelled Jaye. I want to thank you so much. And until next time, you guys, I want you to take care of yourselves and each other. Till next time, you guys, good night and have a good night. Peace out. Good night, you guys. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you
Good night. Good
for
night.
hitting
Good night.
the J Spot
Good night. Good
on
night.
intellectualradio.com.
Good night, everybody. Good night.